Russia, one of the largest countries in the world, occupies 1/10 of all the land on Earth. Its landscape varies from deserts to frozen coastlines, and from tall mountains to giant marshes, spanning over 11 time zones across 2 continents, and has coasts with 3 oceans: the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Arctic Ocean. But these are not the only things that make Russia so fascinating. There is much more to Russia, and how it has evolved over the years. So, welcome back to our channel, and today we will be discussing about why Russia has become so important over the years, and what status does it enjoy in the current day. And let's get started. The earliest settlements in Russia came around 500 AD, when Scandinavians moved south to areas around the upper Volga River. These settlers built a fortress that eventually became the Ukrainian city of Kiev. Later, Kiev evolved into an empire that ruled for 200 years, later breaking up into Ukraine, Belarus, and Muscovy. Muscovy's capital, Moscow, remained a small trading post until the 13th century, when Mongol invaders from Central Asia drove people to settle in Moscow. Then, in the 1550s, Muscovite ruler Ivan IV became Russia's first tsar, or emperor, after driving the Mongols out of Kiev and unifying the region. This emperorship continued for a couple of centuries, and the rulers continued to modernize Russia. Then, in 1917, Russians unhappy with their leadership overthrew their emperor and formed an elected government. Shortly after that, though, a communist group called the Bolsheviks took the power, and their leader, Vladimir Lenin, created the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, uniting Russia and 11 other countries. The Soviet Union fought alongside the United States in World War II, but relations between the two powers strained soon as the US was worried about the spread of communism, the type of government the Soviet Union was. Therefore, these concerns led to the Cold War, which ended in 1991 when the Soviet Union broke up after many of its republics, such as Ukraine, Lithuania, and Estonia, decided they didn't want to be part of the communist country anymore. During this time, Boris Yeltsin became president, and Russia went through many changes. Instead of communist government, people were elected to serve in a representative democracy, with many political parties. Private businesses also gained independence, and citizens had new political and cultural freedoms to express themselves, without fear of breaking the law. After that, Yeltsin was re-elected in 1996, but his bad health resulted in Vladimir Putin replacing him as acting president. Then, in 2000, Putin was formally elected by the citizens of Russia. In the first years of his presidency, Putin continued many of Yeltsin's reforms, but he got rid of some of the cultural freedoms and took control of the national television networks. Then, Putin was elected to a second term in 2004. But as in the United States, he couldn't serve more than 2 consecutive 4-year terms. So, in 1998, he appointed an aide, Dmitry Medvedev, to take his place as prime minister. Then, in 2012, Putin ran again for president and won. But he wasn't as popular among the people, and citizens protested against the unfair elections, which were dealt with force. After that, in 2014, Russian troops invaded the Crimean Peninsula, an area of land in southern Ukraine bordered by the Black Sea. Putin said that the people of Crimea had voted for independence from Ukraine. Many Ukrainians and leaders from several other countries didn't like Putin's actions and thought the vote wasn't real. But in March of that year, Putin signed a treaty with some Crimean leaders that said that Crimea was part of Russia. However, Ukrainian officials condemned this and said that they still considered Crimea part of Ukraine, not Russia. Later in 2014, fights along the eastern border broke out between Ukrainians and Russian-backed rebels, who wanted all of Ukraine to become part of Russia. Then in 2019, Vladimir Zelensky was elected president of Ukraine, and he ran on a platform of uniting the country and ending border battles in the east with Russia. But in February 2022, Putin announced an invasion on the country and sent troops to take over major cities, including the capital, Kiev. Ukrainian citizens have been fighting back against the attacks, and Zelensky has vowed to remain in the country and fight until Ukraine regains its freedom. Many world leaders strongly condemned Putin's actions, and some punished Russia by stopping trade with the country or putting travel bans in place. The hope is that these punishments, called sanctions, will hurt Putin and Russia enough to stop the fighting before the war spreads into other European nations. And that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, then give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content coming your way.